Hello, everybody. This is Patrick Rooney from Old School, oldschoolus.com. Haven't done a video in a long time, but one is definitely needed right now. You may have read some of my recent blog posts on the coronavirus situation. I've definitely upped my output recently because of this, putting out the best natural health information that I can and seeing what's going on out there, trying to provide some truth to a crazy situation with a lot of players involved, many of whom have their own interests and can't necessarily take everything that's being said to us at face value. Now, I just saw the press conference that the president held in the Rose Garden this afternoon with the health task force, coronavirus task force, and it was a little bit troubling in that the president laid out that the Easter, he wanted to see everything kind of come back by Easter, if at all possible, which would be a great date. It's Resurrection Day, which has a great meaning to many Christians and people around the world. But he's talked to his health experts, Dr. Tony Fauci and Dr. Deborah Birx, and they basically convinced him that, hey, this thing is being able to track back and get back to normalcy, so to speak, as quickly as the president would want to do. They don't believe that's possible. Dr. Fauci had come up with, had said recently, and backed it up again, that there could be 100 to 200,000 deaths in America due to coronavirus. Is that true? Who knows? But that's the number he has given, and that is the president is reacting to that. That's the people he has around him. A little bit troubling seeing this. There are many people who would love to see this crisis go on for a long time. Now, do they outright want to see people die? Well, I don't think many people want to see other Americans die, but I will tell you this. It's pretty obvious that people have their reasons for wanting to stretch out this crisis. Namely, number one is a lot of the people who are anti this president do not want to see him succeed, know that he succeeded in a huge way, and especially with the economy. And they know that this virus, and not so much the virus itself, but the response to the virus, can be a way that we can just shut down this economy, which you've already seen so far. You saw the bill that they put out at the end of the week, giving money to Americans and to companies and loans and all sorts of things. It's a huge amount of money. And it's obviously hurting the economy. People are hurting out there very bad. Imagine the restaurant industry. So many other industries are just getting hurt right now. People have been wanting to come back. Now they're hearing, oh, not going to be able to necessarily come back as quick as they wanted to. Could be through April 30th, where we have to keep this social distancing going. That's going to be a killer to a lot of industries. So there are people out there that love that. Again, especially people that don't like this president, people of other political persuasions, and quite frankly, some of them would be happy to see this situation stretch out if they can kill the economy and therefore kill the presidency or the re-election efforts of President Trump. That's just the way it is. I know that to be true, and many of you know that to be true as well, even if most people aren't going to say that. Now, I want to say another thing about the press conference. The press itself is disgusting. The president had a number of reporters going back and forth with him, very disrespectful, asking gotcha questions. The press generally is not asking the kind of questions that are going to help the American public. They don't really care. They want to take this president down as well. It's pretty obvious to the American public right now. I want to get into something really important because it really wasn't talked about too much at this press conference, but it's something that I've been harping at. If you look at my posts on oldschoolus.com, you'll see me mention this quite a bit. There are potential treatment options that could really put a dent and at some point, hopefully, help get rid of this whole situation. I believe it's quite obvious as well that there are people out there that don't want to see these treatments for various reasons. Some political, some might have to do with medicine, um, big interests making money on medications. Um, they don't make a lot of money on generics and things like that. If you have a treatment that's already out there, already being used, and it's not something that somebody can come up with and make a whole bunch of money off of, and if you have a treatment out there that could work and shorten this crisis, there's a lot of people that wouldn't want to see that for political reasons as well. Now, I've been looking into the work of Dr. Vladimir Zelenko. He's a Hasidic doctor in New York. He was the doctor that was on Sean Hannity's program and mentioned to him a treatment protocol that he was using three drugs. He was using a drug that's been used for anti-malaria drug for a long time and quite successfully. It's called hydrochloroquine. Some of you have probably heard that. That is the drug that President Trump heard about this as well, and he was touting this drug as being a possible game changer. You might remember this from about 3 weeks ago. Now, any reporters that saw this and may have been interested in this drug, all of a sudden, as soon as President Trump was interested in it and said it could be a game changer, guess what? They flipped around and, oh no, hydrochloroquine, horrible. Then you started seeing stories come out, horror stories. There was a story about a man I believe it was in Arizona, and his wife, who took what they claimed was hydrochloroquine. It wasn't. It was a derivative, which was in some fish cleaner. And this guy took it and apparently, I believe, died, and his wife was sick as well, as I recall. This was a fish cleaner. It wasn't even the same drug that's been used. But the press is so desperate to get this president that they just put out any kind of story to scare you. I keep seeing other stories to this day about this drug and how the press says, well, it hasn't been used that much. We have to do studies. Of course, we all understand studies need to be done. We also understand, though, that people are dying as we speak. We have a battlefield situation here. So you're not going to wait like a year and a half or something to get all the studies that you need to see if this thing works. You're going to do, if you're a dying person, are you really going to wait for a study that could be a year and a half away? I don't think so. So this Dr. Zelenko, and I'll put a link to his information with this video. He was on the Sean Hannity show, and he told Sean Hannity, this was on the 22nd, I believe. He said that there was three drugs that he was using with people in his patients. He had 350 patients that he apparently used this on. Hydrochloroquine was one. He was using 200 milligrams twice a day with them. Azithromycin, I can say this right with my mouth. Azithromycin, Azithromycin. I didn't know I had this problem with saying certain words till now. Oh boy, it's funny when you find out, huh? He was giving his patients 50 milligrams of this one time daily. And then the third item on here that he was giving them was zinc sulfate at 220 milligrams one time daily. I'm not personally prescribing any of this stuff. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what this doctor said. Used on 350 patients. Their breathing eased, he said, in 3 to 4 hours. No one died, no one hospitalized. This Dr. Zelenko has just given a recent, he's a Hasidic Jew, so he hasn't, I'm on Sunday night here, so I believe he, is kind of shut down for the weekend, basically, an observant Jew, at least through yesterday. I haven't seen anything that he said as of, any time recently. I haven't seen anything for the last few days. But the last update he gave, and he does give updates if you want to see his updates. Again, I'll have his link in the description. You can see his YouTube updates. Some of them they shut down. Some of them YouTube won't show certain videos because it doesn't meet their guidelines, okay? This is kind of weird when you see potential cures for things being shut down. You have to start asking questions. What is going on here? Okay, so the last update that he gave, let's see. Well, first of all, he Da, 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 da. Okay, so the update between Wednesday 3:18 and 3:26, it looks like. Today's 3:29 as I speak. His office saw 699 patients. Okay, he was only a select group would he treating with this 3-drug combo that I mentioned. Okay, and he said that 0 deaths because of this. 0 had to go to incubation, which is go on a respirator. He said 4 of them had pneumonia but needed no respiration. So an incredible um, situation that's happened here. Now this is on top of this all came about because there was a French doctor who did some original research, which that's the research that got President Trump so excited, that had an incredible situation where people, no deaths situation where people were just doing very, very well with the drug. So this is very promising. My question really is, why isn't this, that's my dog if you hear weird noises in the background. Why doesn't the press care about this, first of all? And I think I answered that question already. We know what the press hates this president. Anything that could help this president, they're not interested in. Okay, we know that. Let's just check that one off. Now, second question I have, why won't Governor Cuomo, Governor Andrew Cuomo, New York governor, now he's allowed the drug to come in, the hydroxychloroquine to come into New York, and he's using it in a study. And President Trump said that 1,100 people have been given the study so far. 1,100 people have been given the drug in the New York study. He just got something to eat. He's got something to eat, so he's excited. He loves his food at night. So 1,100 people got this drug in New York so far, and we don't really know what's happened with it. They're in a study, but Governor Cuomo has disallowed people who are not in the study, this is reportedly, from getting a hold of this drug. Okay. Also, there is talk that people are, they're hoarding the drug, the doctors are hoarding it, and so forth. Okay, if the drug is so bad that the press wants to rip it, how come the doctors are hoarding it? And I'm asking why Governor Cuomo is not allowing people to have this drug. Now he could say maybe his reasoning is, he doesn't want too many people using this drug, and then people who really need it won't get it. Okay, I get that. But why aren't we putting on a national push? And I'm sure we are to some extent. I have no doubt the president is. I'm just saying this as a layperson out here. I want to encourage, we need to have this needs to be looked into. It has a definite possibility of something very, very powerful, but we need it made. If the problem right now is we don't have enough of it, let's get more. I know we're getting a lot of this drug from different places. We need to get a lot more of this drug all over the place. We need to have, and I wish that, I don't know, I think the president can do it. He's already pushed it a lot. He's done what he can do, I suppose. But I would like to see this pushed 100%. So that we can, this idea that we're going to not be able to ramp this thing down now. People are not going to be able to go back to work. We're not necessarily going to be able to go back after Easter, to our normal lives, or even sooner. I think we could if we handled this in the correct way. I know what the president's doing. I know his task force is doing some amazing work with companies out there. I know there are insurance companies out there who are Aetna, and I forgot the other company, but they were handle people for free essentially. And there's all sorts of companies that are out there, FedEx or UPS, excuse me, maybe FedEx as well, that are out there, doing their supply chain. A lot of people are coming together. He said even GM is starting to come on board and do stuff. I know these people are doing a lot of great work, and I know that they've sent a big ship to New York to help out with what's going on there. And they're doing stuff. He's even working with Gavin Newsom. People that hate him, really, Governor Newsom in California. They're doing a lot. But if sometimes, you need to concentrate on certain things that are really, really important, that are really going to do it. To me, that's that one thing that could be as President Trump himself said, a game changer, a potential game changer. Get hydroxychloroquine out there. Get people up to speed on these protocols. The hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin. There you go, there, and zinc. Again, I'm not prescribing anything. I'm saying people should look into this. Okay, and if we don't have enough of these medications, we need to make these things like crazy. I know that the president already has companies who are going into overdrive to kind of like almost like a wartime situation, where you would be taking companies and having them make munitions, during World War II or so forth. We need to have that same kind of drive to get these drugs made. And again, this game changer could change everything, but we need to get it out there. Do not allow yourself to be influenced by the mainstream media. They're almost, I don't know, to me, 95% of them, it seems at least, are off the reservation. They don't care about you and me. They're not interested in that. They're interested in taking out this president. They don't really care about this virus. As much as they try to show how much they care, they don't really care for the most part. Obviously, obvious exceptions to the rule. So again, the president has extended the social distance guidelines to April 30th. Yeah, I think I've said it already. I made a few more notes to myself, but I realize I've already said them. The media loves this, the extension of the guidelines. The market's going to hate this tomorrow morning, for sure. The American people are going to have a rough time. But we can talk about flattening the curve. We can flatten the curve if we start getting this medication out and get this information out. And if people aren't allowing it to be said, find platforms that will allow you to say it and get it out to people and start talking to people that you know about it. All right, again, I said enough. Patrick Rooney, oldschoolus.com. Go there for my articles, my posts. I'm not claiming to be a doctor here. I'm certainly not. But I'm somebody who cares about health, natural health, and been doing that my whole life pretty much. And I've leaned on natural health practices for a long time over my lifetime, and it's done well for me. And hopefully that can do well for you. So if you have any questions or anything like that for me, feel free to check with me. You can go to info at oldschoolus.com. And again, oldschoolus.com is my website. So I wish you guys the best. We're going to get through this together, but we need to tell the truth about what's going on. Put aside our political differences or what have you. Let's get this thing solved so we can move forward together as a country. Thanks so much, and I look forward to talking with you real soon.